First company on our radar. Ola recently announced the company's foray into the electric motorcycle segment with the launch of the Roadster series of motorcycles. But do note the company's August 2024 retail sales slipped around 34% sequentially. Its market share has also fallen to the lowest level that we've seen since September of 2023. To discuss this, we have with us the man of the moment, really, in the past couple of weeks, Bhavish Aggarwal, who's the chairman and the MD of Ola Electric Mobility. And we have Prashant in the studio to take us through this conversation
Absolutely.
as well.
And Ekta, thanks very much for that. Bhavish, hi, good afternoon. Thanks very much for joining us. And I think we are speaking for the first time after your listing, so congratulations. We spoke, I think, 2 days before you made it to the public markets, we discussed the road ahead, etc. I think you would agree, or maybe you will not, because you were expecting a good listing. The price performance was astounding. Of course, it's come off. I mean, it's the nature of public markets. A little bit of up and then maybe a little bit of sideways price action. So we are somewhere there. So, but stock price aside, Bhavish, if we can start by talking about what's happening here and now, right? And I want to start with the sales numbers for the month of August, which look a little subdued because I have the the numbers that you that we have with us. So your sales for the month of August are down some 34%, Bhavish. It's a steep fall month on month. Year on year, it's a 45% increase, but month on month, it's a 34% decline. I'm looking at the overall industry as well. That has fallen 18% month on month. But your sales have gone down 34%. Could you tell us what has happened in August?
Prashant, firstly, wonderful to be here after our IPO. First time in this context. Excited to be on your show. And like you said, stock price has done well. And, you remember when we were speaking, I had said that in my assessment, we've left some money on the table for investors. And I'm really glad that people have liked the fact that, they bought in and then they have made money with us. And like I said, even then, this is just the beginning of India's EV story. And Ola Electric is obviously the leader in that story. Now, coming to numbers, Prashant. So August in general is a bit of a seasonal down month in the industry. And you see that across EVs, across ICE vehicles and two-wheelers. It's a bit of a dip month after June, July. And every OEM industry has also dipped a little in August, as is expected. Other OEMs have also dipped. We've also dipped a little, but year on year, actually, we have one of the highest growths in August. And the fundamentals of our growth story remain the same. We are focused on profitable growth. We are focused on, there are 2 or 3 strategies that I want to share with your viewers that we are absolutely sharply focused on.
Bhavish, we'll touch upon all of this.
Yeah.
But let me just focus on the market share, share and the numbers in August. You said August is seasonal, fair enough. But your market share now has come off, right? Actually, I said this when we spoke. I mean, you're the big leader. It's yours to lose in that sense or to build on. But you're the most, so you got the most to lose in that sense. But you're off from 50-odd% to 31. I think is it 31% now? As at the end of August, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the others, right? Bajaj, for example. I mean, share has gone up to 18%. As last year it was 11%. TVS has come back to 19%, where it was in FY24, but it's come up from 15%. So these are sharp shifts which are happening within the industry. So I just wanted to get a sense from you and for your investors and viewers as well. Where should we see this number? At 31% now, where should we see this number?
See, we are focused on building the next wave of the EV journey. The others, the incumbents, like you said, Bajaj, TVS, everybody, they are finally getting into the game. And it's good to see that unko thodi, कहते हैं ना हिंदी में देर आए दुरुस्त आए. So if you remember, all these people before our IPO were saying, "Arey, electric, we will see where it goes, and this is not a real business, etc." Even now, they are only half-heartedly doing it. We saw reports about how all of these people lose so much money in their electric business. Whereas we, as you saw in our quarterly results, we actually are EBITDA break-even, pretty much there in our EV business. So our focus is on profitable growth. You will see us continue to bring new products, expand distribution, and continue to focus on vertical integration to bring better technology and control cost. Now, over the last 4 years that this company has been in existence, we've actually invested close to $1 billion in our technology and manufacturing, which is focused on EVs. That is not what our incumbent competition has done. तो अभी वो फाइनली मैदान में आए, फाइनली उनको थोड़ा सा चेस्ट थम्पिंग चाहिए, तो थोड़ा डिस्काउंट पे अपने प्रोडक्ट्स बेच रहे हैं. But if you see, they will actually be burning a big hole in their balance sheet by building their EV business. And the challenge for incumbents, Prashant, at a macro level is वो खेलेंगे तो पछताएंगे, नहीं खेलेंगे तो पछताएंगे. खेलेंगे तो पैसा लूज करेंगे और अपने खुद का आइस बिजनेस कैनिबलाइज करेंगे. You can see all of these companies, the incumbents who have started playing in electric are losing ICE market share to their ICE competitors. And nahi khelenge to anyways they will lose out on the future, which is electric. So so the game has just begun.
Yeah. No, and you put it well. I'm sure they're also listening. But you would also agree, right? I mean, these are large, well-funded, very profitable companies. So in that sense, I mean,
thanks to our IPO, Prashant, we have a very strong.
You are as well.
And not just that, we have a very strong balance sheet, which is focused only on EVs. I saw some commentary by some of our peer companies that their clean energy business is 20% or whatever. There is only one true clean energy, which is EVs. There is nothing which is else, which is clean energy.
Right. So I have two questions. You said, well, we're also well funded. So are we looking at a bit of a discount-led sort of price wars, basically, in the space for market share? Are we headed towards that? Are we already there? That is one. And second, EV adoption also, because a government subsidy was a pretty critical help for the industry, which got penetration up from 0.5%, less than 1% to where it was. But last 2 years, it stagnated. And now this extension also is expiring. So how crucial is that to see, I mean, the next leg of fame? So a two-part question. One, price wars, and the second is, of course, government support. Go on.
Prashant, on the government support, I'll start with that first. Globally, we've seen governments normally support the EV transition for a few years. It's about 4, 5, 6 years, depending on which industry or which country. And that's where the Indian government has also guided. The FAME subsidy has anyways come down in the last 2 years from 60,000 rupees per product to 10,000 rupees per product. The government has recently publicly said that there's a new FAME coming, which will continue support, maybe with a slightly more different criteria on localization, which, by the way, we meet very, very nicely. So, in our view, the government support is at the right levels, and it will taper off over the next 2-3 years. The beauty is the industry has actually expanded significantly despite this FAME subsidy reducing from 60,000 to 10,000, right? Now, just 3 years ago, the industry was less than 1% electric. Last month, the industry was 7.5% electric. And this is only when only scooters are there in the market. Our motorbikes are still to come, and the motorbike electrification is still to begin. So the electric penetration is continuing to grow. If you look at within the categories of action like scooters, etc., penetration is close to 20%. So I actually feel there will be a continuing inflection on EV penetration as more and more consumers become comfortable with the electric and as product options expand. So that's one. On the price that you mentioned, see, our focus has always been on investing into technology and vertically integrated manufacturing to reduce our cost structure. And that is why even already we are at a EBITDA very close to EBITDA break-even, whereas others, including these traditional old hands, so to say, burn a lot of money in their EV business.
All right. Bhavish, that point is taken because like Prashant mentioned, these are companies which have well-established, well-run businesses for multiple years. But I just wanted to narrow down on one specific thing, which is basically a motorcycle launch, the Roadster. 3 variations of that. The pricing is extremely competitive. You've got, this 999 rupee booking scheme also, which was launched. Give us a sense, give us numbers specifically in terms of the kind of bookings we've seen, the kind of launch numbers that we've seen for maybe one or all 3 of these variants.
So I won't share the booking numbers today. In due course, we will share the booking numbers also with you. But there is a huge amount of excitement on our motorbikes. You mentioned the Roadster. There are 3 variants of that. 3 models actually, and each model has multiple battery pack variants. All of these in the next few months will be live in the market for consumers to use and buy. Our focus is to expand the EV industry away from only scooters into motorbikes and a few other categories also. Maybe you, I don't, we have made some announcements in the past of a few other categories where we will get into electrification. The next phase of electrification journey is going to be led by product expansion. Our motorbikes have had a very strong reception. We've had a lot of people reserve it already, and soon you will start seeing it getting into consumers' hands.
All right. Hi, Bhavish. Good day. And this is Nigel on this side. First of all, congratulations on a solid listing. And I'll tell you what, I'm a bike enthusiast. And if God wills, I would like to ride a motorbike to work, till the end of my career. So I could be one of those target audience, who's going to be moving from the current vehicles to the EV vehicle. So I'm looking at the products very, very closely. And since you've got into motorcycles as well, it's going to be quite interesting. Now, going by what you said, I wanted to understand two aspects from you. You're almost at EBITDA break-even is what you said. How much are you accounting for in terms of PLI benefits as a percentage of your selling price? That's point number one. And there's going to be a toss-up now between market share or margins. I don't know how you're going to manage that. There's a seasonal factor. That's why your market share has come down. But where do you see it stabilizing at? So PLI and market share. Please go ahead.
On market share, Nigel, we are very focused on penetration increase by expanding two things, by expanding our product portfolio and by expanding distribution. And we recently made announcements about how we will be expanding distribution to beyond our company-owned stores also through the ONDC platform. And in the near future, you'll see us have a few hundred non-company-owned stores as agents or whatever you call them across the country, which will take our penetration through distribution even deeper. And then product expansion through motorbikes, through other form factors. All of this is on the near-term radar. So market share is a function of all of these things. So today our market share is, let's say in August, 32%.
Yes.
From here it will go as our distribution scales up and as our product expansion scales up. We are, like I said earlier, focused on growing our volumes, growing penetration, growing market share with balancing on profitability. So sustainable growth is our focus. On PLI, we account for mid-single digits in terms of overall revenue as PLI. And in more details, we will share in one of our quarterly financial updates to all of you. But that's roughly where we account for PLI.
Mid-single digits is what you're saying, right? So around 5% odd. And are you receiving those PLI payments? Have they started coming in?
No, the first payments will start coming in maybe this quarter or next quarter.
Okay, got it. And just to push you a little bit on that market share point that you were making, it's at around 32%, but going by everything that you said, increasing your distribution, your reach as well, it should stabilize what, in high 30s? Would you be satisfied with that?
See, an entrepreneur is never satisfied, Nigel. Mera goal to 100%.
But what's a realistic number, Bhavish? The markets are listening to what you're saying, so they would like broadband.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to guide the markets to a market share. We have grown from wherever 0% market share 3 years ago to mid-30s right now at a stable state. Our focus is on expansion of the core fundamentals of the business, the distribution, product, and the manufacturing.
All right, Bhavish, and you're looking at some backward integration with regard to your sales as well. Once that comes, first, when does that come on stream and how does it change the profitable aspect?
Our own cell is going to come online early next calendar year. And we have, 15th August, we showcased the cell. We showcased a scooter running on the 4680 cell, which, it showcases that we are fairly along in our journey of productionizing our cell. And early next year, it will start coming into our products.
You must have.
And by the way, Nigel, when I say 100% market share, I don't say that loosely. By profit market share, we will be 100% in the industry on EVs.
Oh, wow.
Interesting, Bhavish. I like the aggression, actually, as you're revving up the engine. But Bhavish, just one more point, since you're being so candid. The service aspect is, the feedback that you get isn't very impressive. A lot of chatter online. How are you addressing that? Because ultimately, once I get my bike, I'm happy. But a lot of these two-wheeler majors who have done well, the after-service is something that helps you out. The parts, the after-service, and that's what drives customers to come back to you. So comment on that.
Absolutely. No, Nigel, very fair point. And a vast majority of our customers never have any issues with their product. There are some obviously consumables like brake pad changes, etc. In the monsoons, it spikes a little. And we've had a bit of a backlog in expanding our service network. You know, we have a 800 odd sales network, but we have about a 550 odd service network. So we are focused on expanding our service network, and we also recently announced that soon our service will also be beyond just our company-owned stores. Our focus is to certify every independent garage, every independent company in the services business who can then also service our EVs. So our focus is to really expand touch points for consumers, for them to really get quick service and not have to pay for it. But we've been expanding our own network, and now we will be actually turbocharging it by expanding it beyond our network.
You know, Bhavish, you've said that on these lithium cells, right? When you buy and others buy cells, there's a 20-25% margin that they have to pay, which you won't have to, and that's a big cost advantage when your cells come on stream. We are seeing a huge amount of, I mean, yesterday, for example, you would have noted, right, that announcement for the advanced cells coming through, PLI coming through. Other big sort of battery makers have also announced plans. My point is cost. Is it going to be, by the time all this capacity comes on stream, will it be such a big determinant in terms of profit margin and profitability?
Yeah, Prashant, firstly, all these announcements in the lithium cell manufacturing space is great for the Indian ecosystem, because we need a lot of capacity in India to serve the automotive segment and to serve the energy storage segment, right? So abhi to India ne scratching the surface bhi nahi kiya. For the course of this decade, most likely we are going to be domestic supply constrained in cell capacity. So that's number one. And number two, the cell manufacturing is not only a manufacturing-led cost reduction story, it is a technology-led cost reduction story. And we have a 4 or 5 year lead over there over any of these people coming in. We've been investing in cell technology for a long time. We've been the first off the block here. Our manufacturing facilities are ready. And our cell is not the past generation of the cell. It is a 4680 new age, cutting edge generation of the cell, which further reduces cost and improves performance. So our focus here is going to be to lead in the technology and the manufacturing scale.
Okay. On just one last point from me, Bhavish, on there are some reports of a three-wheeler, Ola three-wheeler. I mean, is it too early or is it in the horizon? Three-wheelers, by the way, is a highly profitable segment, much more profitable as compared to two-wheelers.
Prashant, three-wheeler mein, I can neither confirm nor deny these statements, but I can share some context with you guys. Three-wheelers mein, we as a group have had a very strong engagement, because every three-wheeler driver works on my Ola Cabs platform, every one of them, right? So I know their pain points, I know their propensity for electrification, I know the GTM, go-to-market, distribution, financing, everything we have very deep, entrenched experience in as a group. And three-wheeler has always been on our radar from the beginning of Ola Electric. We've also showcased some technology focus on this. And our entire manufacturing technology strength that we've built in two-wheelers is going to be easily transferable to three-wheelers as and when we choose to bring out our products.
So and when is that? Can you tell us by when?
आप ही बोल रहे reports हैं, तो I can't.
तो आपसे confirm करने के लिए पूछ रहा हूँ मैं, क्या मतलब इस साल अगले 2 quarter 3 quarter, is it a foreseeable future or is it long way off?
We keep working on products, and the three-wheeler has been obviously under our R&D division for a while, and our effort is to bring it to market soon enough. Yeah.
Okay, all right, Bhavish, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us on a whole host of issues. That's the CNBC-TV18 exclusive. As you can see, Ola Electric has moved up around 4.5% at current reckoning. The stock has given returns of around 50% from its issue price of around 75, 76 odd rupees, but it's still off the highs of around, I think, 150 plus rupees that we had seen earlier post-listing. We'll take a short break, but we'll get you more on the markets once we're back. Stay tuned.